on my YouTube channel. Definitely, I'll share it to you. You can subscribe my channel and re-watch the session if you want. Okay. So I've started the recording. So I request nobody will speak in between. I'll give you time for asking questions. If you have any questions, you can put it on a paper and we will discuss at the end. Okay. So starting, good morning, good afternoon all. Starting with a C programming language. Okay, so today I have decided to cover all basics of C programming language theory part, and in my next session or further sessions, we will cover programming as well. So what is a C language? So there are various types of languages. As somebody already said, C is a mother language of all programming because it is very popular. It is first programming language which has been developed, and it is procedure oriented because uh, with respect to this procedure oriented, I would like to tell you that there are two types of languages: sequential and non-sequential. Okay, so non-sequential is also called as a concurrent language, but here C language is a procedure oriented or it is a sequential language. The meaning of sequential language means, suppose you have written a program, so whatever you have written as a first statement, that will execute first. Whichever you have written as a second statement, that will execute it next. So it will be in a sequence, right? But in case of non-sequential languages, it is not like that. So control of the program can move from say first line to the 10th line, or second line to the 8th line, again from ninth line to the second line, and so on. So jumping of the execution is possible with corresponding control statements used in a programming language. So that is called as a non-sequential or a concurrent language. So C comes under the procedure oriented programming language. Now the last sentence of this slide is it is high level programming language. So there are three types of languages: high level, low level, and middle level. Sometimes it is also called as a middle level language because there are keywords. So high level means English like statements are there in a program, that is called as a high level language. Middle level means there are mnemonics. So you might be having a knowledge about a controller. Okay, microcontroller. So whatever programs of microcontroller we are writing, those are in the form of codes, hex codes or something like that. So that is called as a mnemonics, and such kind of language comes under the middle level language. And low level language is a language which is friendly to the machine, friendly to the computer. That is called as a low level language. So these are some of the basics which needs to cover. So in case of a C programming language, it is compatible with the user. It is easy to understand by the user. So English like statements, similar to English like statements are there. Therefore, it is called as a high level programming language. But some of the keywords are also there. Therefore, sometimes it is also called as a middle level language. Okay. Going to the next, who is a founder of a C language, or who has invented the C programming language? So it is developed in AT&T lab in USA, and you can see the photograph. His name is Dennis Ritchie. He is a founder of C language. So he has developed it. Before C language, there was B language, then BPCL language, and so on. And C is very popular language for programming. Let us see in brief the history of C programming language. So initially the first language was Algol, then BPCL, then B, then traditional C language, then K and RC, then ANSI C, then ANSI ISOC, and ANSI C is very famous nowadays since 89, but still C language is used somewhere. Still C language is used somewhere. Okay. So this is what about the history of the C programming language. Okay, who has developed, all details are given here, but we are interested to know who has invented C and how the progress of the language has took place. So now we'll see some of the important features of the C language. So I'll tell you the meaning of each and every word of it. so that there will be clear understanding. So first is a machine independent or portable. So machine independent means there are compilers inside the machine. So it is high-level statement. So it is not dependent on the machine. It if you have installed C, you can operate it anywhere. It is not machine dependent. Then it is mid or high level programming language. As we already have discussed, there are English like statements or some English keywords in English language, and hence it is called as a mid or a high level programming language, which is very user friendly. Then it is a structured programming language because it is a sequential language. We already have discussed what is structured. Then it has a rich library. Rich library means there are many functions in a library. Depending upon our requirement, we can go for any of the function. Only the thing is that we have to include that library in our program. That's it. So as we will go forward, you will come to know the library functions. Various library functions are there, and various predefined functions are there to perform a particular task. So we can use any of the function in that corresponding library. Okay. Then memory management is very easy in case of a C. It is automated, but we can easily retrieve the uh, program. So there is no much issue of memory management. Then fast speed, it is very fast. Then pointers are there, so you can use the pointers for pointing a particular memory. Then recursion, so recursion means repeated use of something. So it is possible to repeatedly use a function which will come as a function within the function. And lastly, the extensible. So it is extendable to, I mean, you can merge two, three programs together and you can extend the scope of a program. So these are some of the features of a C language. So we'll see the first program. So see the first line of it. It is hash include. So this is a syntax which you have to write it as it is. Then only C compiler will understand what you have written. So hash include. Okay. Now triangular bracket stdio.h. So stdio stands for standard input output, and .h is a header file. So there are many header files which are there inside the library of a C compiler. So this is one of the library with one of the header file included in the library, which is standard input output. So whenever we include standard input output .h, this header file, whenever we write this line in a program, then whatever are the functions available in standard input output library, all will be visible to our main program. Okay. So this is a standard input output header file inclusion in our program. Okay. Now the next statement, again we are trying to add one of the header file, which is hash include conio.h. So conio stands for consolidated input output. So there are some different functions inside the conio, and we are interested to use some of the functions from standard IO, some functions from conio. Therefore we need to include them in our program. Okay. Then void main. One more interesting thing about the C programming language is it is a functional language. That means everything that we write is inside a function. Okay. So void means, if you go for a dictionary meaning, void means empty. Okay, so main is a name given to a function. So by default, any program we write inside a main. But this main function does not return anything. Therefore, it is called as a void main. So it is void main, circular bracket opening, circular bracket completing, curly bracket opening. Here is the curly bracket closing of this void main function. So every function has its scope. So curly bracket opening and curly bracket closing, whatever you write inside this, that is the scope of a function. Okay. So by default, every program we write within a main function, and still we can have multiple functions calling, retrieving everything within the main function. So we'll go in detail in further sessions. So coming back to the main, this program, void main, circular bracket open, circular bracket close, curly bracket open. Now there is a statement that I have written, printf. So this is a predefined function in a standard input output header file. That means it is within the library. So if I don't use this line, then I'll get a error that printf statement not understood by the compiler, because this printf statement is written inside the header file of standard input output, which is there in the library of a C compiler. So you need to write this line whenever you are using a printf statement. Okay. So the syntax of printf is printf circular bracket opening double quote, then you can write anything within this double quote complete circular bracket close and semicolon. So the printf function is like whatever you write inside the double quote, everything will be printed on the screen. That's it. So I want to print on the screen as C programming, therefore I have written it within the double quote. Okay, bracket complete semicolon. So at the end of every statement, um, we are writing semicolon. This is rule of writing a program of a C language. Now my next statement is get ch. Get ch stands for get character. Okay. So this is again a predefined function which is available in consolidated input output header file. So to use this function, I must include conio.h. Therefore, I have written this at the start of the program. Hash include triangular bracket conio.h. Okay. So this is one of the function available in the conio file. Okay. Therefore, this line is must, then only I can use the getch function. Now, the meaning of getch function is get character. It means wherever we are running this program, the program will shift from main screen to the output screen. So on output screen, there will be printed as a C programming. Okay. Now again, once we see the output on the output screen, we have to come back to our main program for say editing it or any function, anything we want to deal with a main program. Then we should come from output screen to the main screen. So for that purpose, there is a get character. So if user press any of the key, then he will come to the main program from the output screen. Okay. So that's why I have written this function getch. And now my program is over. So I have closed the functional scope. This is a starting of a main function. This is ending of a main function. So here my program is end up. Okay. So what will be the output of this program? It will print on the screen C programming. That's it. Okay. So that will be the output. Now, whatever description I have given you, let us have a revision of it. So hash include stdio.h. It will include the standard input output library functions. The printf function is defined in the stdio.h, and therefore we have written this line. Next line was hash include conio.h. It will include the console input output library function. So getch function is defined in conio.h. Therefore, we have included this line. Now void main, it is the main function and it is empty point in the program. Therefore, there is a void. Okay. The void keyword specifies that this function is not returning any value. That's why it is written void. Okay. Next is printf. So printf function is used to print the data on the console. So whatever you write inside double quote, that will be printed on the console, means output screen. And the last line is the getch. So getch is again a function which asks for a single character. Until you press any key, it blocks the screen. So you will remain on the output screen, say, because the previous line is printf. So with printf, the cursor move to the output screen. So again, we want to change the screen from output to the main coding window. So we have written a getch, therefore we have to press some of the character. So this is the output of my program. Whatever you have written inside the double quote, that will be printed on the screen. Okay. I hope all of you have understood this. So I'll move further. Now we'll see some of the functions which are repeatedly used, which are input and output functions. So the two functions which are mainly used in any of the program are printf and scanf. Let us understand what is printf, what is scanf. Okay, so both the functions are the output functions of a C language. So printf, as we already have discussed, whatever you write inside a printf circular bracket double quote. Okay, so opening of double quote and closing of double quote, whatever you write inside that, that will be printed on the screen. Screen means output screen. Okay. So printf function is used for output. It prints the given statement to the console. Console means on the output screen. Okay. So syntax of printf is like printf circular bracket double quote, then you can write whatever you want. Okay, so suppose you want to write value, for example say a equal to 3, this is what I want to print, but a equal to 3, but this 3 value is written inside the memory of a, then I will write a equal to percent %d double quote complete comma a, means value of a will be printed instead of a percent %d. So it depends. I mean, if it is a data type is integer, we will write percent %d. If data type is character, we will write percent %c. If it is a string, we will write percent %s. If it is a float, we will write percent %f, and so on. So depending upon the data type that we are using for a variable, accordingly we will use the argument. Or simply if you want to write something on a screen, as we have seen C programming, or this is my first program. Likewise, if you want to write any statement, then there is no need of this argument list. You have to just write inside the double quote and that will be printed on the screen. Don't forget to give a semicolon at the end of the statement. Okay, so this is about the first thing, which is printf. Now next function is a scanf, which is generally used almost in all the programs. So scanf, as the name indicates, it scans the value. It scans the value. Okay. So it is used for input. This is one of the input function. Okay. Because say for example, I have written in a printf statement like printf circular bracket double quote enter the value of a double quote complete bracket complete semicolon. So when it will printed on the screen that enter the value of a, what we understand, user is going to enter some value, right? Means suppose user think that he has to enter a equal to 2, so he will press the key of 2, right? Whenever we say to somebody enter the value of a, means he is going to enter the value of a. So we have to take that value which user has entered and put it inside the memory, and that memory location name will be a, right? So we are scanning the value given by the user and putting it into a memory location. So that is done with the help of scanf function. So what scanf is doing, it is taking the input from the user and putting it into the memory, right? Therefore it is the input function. Whereas what printf is doing, it is printing something on the screen, so it is the output function. So printf is the output function, whereas scanf is the input function, right? So the scanf syntax is scanf bracket opening double quote, you have to write the format string. For example, suppose I have written enter the value of a, and let us say a is defined as an integer, then here it will be percent %d. Okay, because for integer the string format is percent %d. So I will write scanf circular bracket double quote percent %d double quote complete comma and a. Okay, so and is the address, ampersand sign you have to give, which is a and means address, bracket complete semicolon. Okay, when we'll go to the program it will be more clear to you. So I think scanf and printf both are now clear to you. If you have any doubt, we will take up at the end. Now we'll go for the various data types. So there are various data types available in the C language. So basic data types are integer. Integer means a true number, say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Likewise up to say 37,875. Likewise some constant value is there for the integer, positive and negative. Then character includes all the abcd small capital special characters, everything is coming under the character type of data type. Then float, you can give the fractional value as well. So fractional value means say 1.5, 2.8, like that. Suppose we want to represent that kind of value, then data type will be float. And double, if it goes beyond the range of integer or beyond the range of float. Okay, float is also have some limit. So if it is crossing that limit, then the data type will be double. For integer it is long, for float it is double. Okay, so these are the basic data types which we are going to use. Then next are the derived data types. So derived means they are derived from the basic data types. So there is an array. Okay, so array is a collection of similar data type. For example, I want to store the marks of 50 students. Okay, so it will be array. Let us say marks are my whole marks. I mean, nobody will get say 50.5 or 80.5. Either he will get 80 or 81, like that. So all will come under the integer data type. So likewise, suppose I have an array of 50 locations, I can store the marks of 50 students. Okay, then there is a pointer. Pointer is again similar kind of data type, which is pointing to a particular memory location. Then there is a structure. So in structure we can save the array of a character is called as a structure. Okay, suppose I want to write the names of the students, so that will come under the structure. Similarly, there is one more data type which is a union. Okay, now there are again other data types. One of the data type is enumeration data types, where some number related data is stored. It is called as a enum. And void data type, whenever it is not returning any value, we are calling it as a void. Then we'll see some of the keywords in a C language. So keyword means what? The words which are already trained to the compiler. Okay. For example, if somebody asks us what is your name, so we are knowing with what name means, right? So as we are learned for some of the words, similarly compiler interpreters are also trained with a particular word set of words. So those are called as a keywords, or these are the reserved words which compilers are familiar with. So that is called as a keyword. Okay, so keyword is a reserved word. You cannot use it as a variable name, constant name, etc. Because see, for example, integer. So I cannot use the word integer in my program to give any memory location name, because whenever we say integer, compiler come to know that somebody is going to save some value which is of integer data type, which is a whole number. Okay, so you cannot make compiler confuse, okay, by giving the same name, because he will reject that, it will not accept that. Okay, so there are total 32 keywords in a C language, which are like double, else, enum, auto, break, case, char, const, continue, default, do, if, static, while. So whatever keywords I have shown here, all are known to the compiler. You cannot use the same name to any of the location in your program. Okay. Now I will take operations and then we will stop today. So various operators in a C language. So there are many operators, and as we learn hierarchy of the operators in mathematics, same is here in the C programming also. So one by one we'll discuss it. First is the arithmetic operators. So we know that arithmetical operations are addition, subtraction. Now, in C programming, multiplication division is performed in the form of addition and subtraction. Therefore, they are not specified as arithmetic operators. But I have written plus plus and minus minus. So this means add, this means subtract, this means increment, and this is decrement. Okay, increment. Now the meaning of increment is increase by 1, meaning of decrement is decrease by 1. So suppose we want to increase by 1, we can write plus plus, or we can write plus 1. The meaning of both is same is with the decrement operator. Next type of operations are the relational operators, wherein we give the relation between the two quantities, like greater than, less than, equal to, not equal to. This exclamatory mark and equal to is called as a not equal to. If a and b are not equal to each other, then we can use this for condition checking or any other uh, operations that we want. So this is called, these are called as a relational operators. Next is the shift operator. So we can have a right shift or a left shift. Okay, next is a logical operator. So you might have studied logical gates in analog and digital electronics. So if we can logically and or not. And means what? A and B both are present, then only output will come, right? So and logical and operator, logical or operator, and logical not operator is there. Then bitwise operations. So all logical operators are operated bitwise if we want. Then next is the ternary or conditional operators. So there are some conditional operators like if else, while, do, for, okay. Such kind of operators are there. Then assignment operator. Now there is a difference between equal to and equal to. Huh? I mean, if I write equal to one time, it means assignment operator. For example, I write A equal to B. Means what? Whatever is the value of B, that will be assigned to A. Okay. So this is called as the assignment operator. Whereas if I write A equal to B, two times I have used the equal to sign. Its meaning is that whether A is equal to B, so it is a relational operator. It is going to check whether it is A and B both are equal or not. This is called as the assignment operator. And remaining all operators are called as the miscellaneous operator. Okay. So I think we will stop here today and we will continue next time. Now we will take up the questions if you have.